Hello everyone, how are you doing today? My name is Sia and I am a part of Undead Fox Studio. Today it is my honor to proudly present to you our newest game called Fatum. In this game, players will be able to take on a role of a private detective. But not just a boring private detective, the one who wields mystical arts and magical power to solve the mysteries he comes upon to solve his investigations. Every night, the detective locks himself up in his room and lays out magical cards. Manipulating those cards is the core mechanic of our game, so let's get started. In front of us, there is a table with the cards of various entities. Though those entities include characters, places, items, and even sensations, but they are not limited to those four categories. It is also possible in our game to move around the room, but the most interesting things will happen at the table. At the bottom of the screen, you can see your hand. Those are action cards, which can be merged with the entities cards on the table. However, there is a catch. Each card has aspects, colored icons that give them unique gradient. Only cards with the matching aspects can be merged. This simple mechanic eliminates meaningless combinations while allowing for a variety and possibility for experimentation. As an example, let's take a look on a card of a writing desk. It has two aspects, container and meaningful. The container aspect match with the card open, so we can open it, and as a result we got a piece of chunk. As for the meaningful aspects, the card matching with it will be focus, which also has a meaningful aspects. Focusing on objects allow us to get more meaningful action, more pointed action, so to say. And now we got the action read, which we can use on the book we have in our room. So let's try it out. Congratulations, we read the book. Did you notice how all the colors on the book turned gray and the aspects dimmed? This means that the aspects have been used already in this turn, but do not worry, they will return in the next one. Another interesting thing is that all the information we just got from this book appeared in our log on the top right corner. Reading books is crucial because it both allows to learn how to use the cards in the most efficient way and to learn more about mechanic, but also it expands the lore and allows to learn about the world and the magic which runs in it. Let's try to see what else we can use. Now we have the card inspect, which we can use to inspect our room, and we have found a chest and a wardrobe, which is not too bad. Also have the card communicate. For now we don't have any other characters to communicate with. However, we can always communicate with ourselves, which, as you should know, can be useful sometimes. We learned now about our thoughts, which also appeared in our log at the top right corner. The last card we have left is the card inspect, which we can use to inspect the street because it has the matching aspect place. Now we got the card pharmacy, which can be very useful to getting some medical supplies in the future. We don't have any more action cards left, so let's end the round and move on to the next day. We got 5 randomly distributed cards on our hand. 5 is the maximum we can get on our hand. And to start with, let's open the chest we found the previous day. We got a lot of interesting items from this chest, but the most useful for us, as I said before, can be the book. So let's try to read it. We already know how to do it. We need to focus on a table and then read the book. Oh Lord, look, it was a special book because now we learned how to create a phantom. It can help us in the future, however, as for now we do not have an entity card with the matching aspects to do it. Let's move on and see what else we can open and investigate. We opened a story room and got a broom, which is not too bad. It can be useful in the future, maybe we can fly. Or magic it up so we can have a magical companion. Oh, by the way, what is this blinking on the street? This is a temporary meeting aspect. Temporary aspects have a number on them, which decreases with every turn. And when it's going up to 0, something happens. So now we went to our next day to see what will happen, and it turned out that we met someone. This is an old lady, which might be our new client. So let's try to talk to her. The lady introduced herself as Mrs. Bates, and in the log we learned that she's looking for her cat. This can be a simple case for such an esteemed detective as ourselves, but we still try to help her. So after talking to her, she gave us a description of her cat. This is not a real cat. This is just an image which is indicated by the aspects on this card. However, we can use it to proceed with our case, matching it with other cards, for example, creating phantoms. So now we have 2 cats, and both of them are totally unreal. One is a description of the cat, and another one is a mere phantom. As an option, we can give the phantom to Mrs. Bates and deceive her into thinking that is her real cat. This is also a way to solve the case, but let's try to finish our search and rescue mission. And the most useful object for that is the search crystal we got earlier from our chest. After focusing on this card, we received a pointed action find, which we can use with the description of the cat because it have a matching aspects. Unless it's not mergeable, because we already used the image aspect during this term, so we need to wait till the next term so it will be colored again, because now it's gray. You remember? I said it before. Okay, so now we can use our find card to find the cat. So we merge it with the description of the cat, and now we got the direction. To understand where this direction leads, we need to use yet another action card and focus on the direction. So as a result, we got to an old burial ground. Okay, this search and rescue mission seems to get a little bit more difficult, so we might need some tools before going there. And let's look in our storeroom. Maybe there is something else more than a broom. Oh good, we got a shovel. Shovel is a thing which would be very useful on old burial ground, maybe for digging or maybe to defending ourselves. But yet we got the card dig, and after digging on the cemetery, we got yet another cat. Now we have 2 cats. One of them is a phantom and another is dead. However, this is the cat of Mrs. Bates, so we can proceed and try to close the case. After focusing on the card, we got close the case action card, which we can use on Mrs. Bates to explain to her what we have found. Predictably, she is very upset, but she gave us money. These games allows for many possibilities to solve the case. We could have given her the phantom cat, or we found the real cat. Still, we do not know what exactly have happened, who took her beloved pet, who buried it on the cemetery. And this is just an example of the mysteries we can encounter in this game. In the future, we will be able to read more about the world using the books and explore the lore and explore the world. We will be able to meet even more characters, all of them unique, and there are many of them living in the city. We will be able to get more magical items and learn more about mystery and craft and the ways we can use magic to unwield all the interesting things going on in the city. So therefore, I thank you for watching the basic mechanic of our future game Fatum. We would appreciate any feedback or any questions. Stay tuned. With love, Undead Fox, and let's do some cool things together.